second-ranked LSU Tigers from the SEC. In 7, they've already played 9 Southland Conference games. They've won 5 of those. This is the way they will bat. Diego Villescaz is at the top at the shortstop. Matt Gonzalez, who's on a hitting streak, is the DH. Brian Lariga is at third base. Bryce Callaway, who's batting .408, that's third in the Southland, is the cleanup hitter at first base. Tristan Moore is the left fielder. Jelani Rogers holds down right field. The center fielder, Alexander Saunier. Carson Evans is catching and hitting the 8th, and Colin Luke brings up the back of the order. He is hitting 9th at second base. And Jaden Newt will be the first pitcher for LSU. We expect to see the bullpen busy today, and Jaden Newt gets the start.
Yeah, Jaden Newt probably going to go 1, maybe 2 innings. The guy's going to throw in the mid-90s. Remember, highly recruited guy coming back from injury, healthy this year. You see his numbers, 3.5 ERA, 7 innings so far this year, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. Through last on March 11th against Xavier, did go 2 innings in that one, didn't give up a hit or a run.
Newt has only been touched for 3 hits in 5 2/3 innings. Walks have been a problem, though. He is past 5. And he does have the strikeout pitch normally. He's struck out 9. He's a hard thrower, and the first one is over for a strike. Still lots of sunshine here. We are delighted to have you in our audience as we start this Privateers Tigers non-conference baseball game. 1-1 now on the Villescaz. Diego is the shortstop. Gonzalez will follow, and then Lariga. The outfielders, especially in center field and right field, still are going to have to battle the sun for a while. You can see the shadows have encroached over much of the infield. The 2-1 pitch being pondered by the to the shortstop Diego Villescaz. And a little bit of a miscommunication between Newt and Arambidi.
No, it's a technology issue, of course, right? You know, we've got watches, we've got things that go in the helmet, earpieces that go in the hat, all that. So we had to replace a battery or a watch or something.
Newt misses 3 in a row after throwing a strike. This leadoff batter is hitting after opening the game with a strike.
Yeah, and that last fastball, he spiked it in the dirt. There you see Dax Norris in his first season as a New Orleans head coach. If you haven't paid attention to college baseball, you're saying, well, where's Blake Dean? What happened to him? Well, the former LSU Tiger, who's been a longtime coach for the UNO Privateers, resigned back officially on January the 14th. And Dax Norris, who was as head assistant, they promoted him to head coach. And if you know, LSU Tiger fans, old-timers will remember the name Dax Norris. He was a great player for Jim Wells at the University of Alabama, played against the Tigers in the '97 National Championship game as a captain, and has been coaching in college a number of years, and has done a nice job filling in sort of at a moment's notice about a month before the season started.
Blake Dean resigned to go into private business, but you're right, it was short notice and an empty stomach on which he took over.
Dax Norris also serves as the pitching coach. He calls the pitches for UNO, so much like Skip Bertman used to do, head coach, pitching coach, and calls the pitches.
1-1 on Matt Gonzalez. He's on an 8-game hitting streak. That was a pitch that induced a swing. Gonzalez out of Manhattan, New York. 3 homers, 15 driven in, and a whopping .435 batting average. As to second base, Gonzalez with a ground single to left, and the first 2 Privateers are aboard.
Yeah, Jaden Newt tried to throw a changeup right there. Not a lot of 3, so not a big differential, and it was a little bit elevated. And Gonzalez, the transfer from Ball State, who started his career at FIU, comes through with a big base hit.
How about his series against Incarnate Word? He was 10 for 16 over the weekend, 3 homers, 3 doubles.
Wow.
And 11 driven in.
That's a month for some people.
It is. Meanwhile, Newt is having trouble throwing strikes.
Now this is sort of a little regroup timeout at the moment to give him an opportunity to take a deep breath. Also, it allows Chandler Dorsey to sort of just start milling around in the LSU bullpen. I'm sure we'll see a ton of Tiger pitchers tonight.
I created 6 spots. Is that enough on my scorebook?
Oof, that's a good over/under in Vegas. That's for sure. I'm gonna take the. Well, the Privateers, coming off of a hot weekend. That's just a get it over fast. Loriga.
So now it's Bryce Callaway.
You talk about a guy who's had a good year so far. Bryce Callaway was an all-conference performer last year. The senior is batting .408, Lynn. Has started every single game this season. He's already had 76 at-bats, 8 home runs, and 4 doubles. I mean, that is an amazing start.
He's a hometowner in New Orleans. Newt has faced 3 batters and has not retired anybody. The Privateers get to the scoreboard first.
Couple of change-ups by Newt. Clearly, they are trying to establish that pitch, and it's a good one because when thrown with some sink to it, his release point is exactly the same as his fastball. It's hard to pick up out of the hand.
Villescaz walked. Gonzalez singled to left. Loriga singled to right and drove in a run.
By the way, Callaway at the plate, not just the hitter, Lynn, also one of their best relief pitchers.
That's the first out of the inning.
Boy, the bottom just fell out on those pitches. Newt came through big with a couple of runners on base to get the leading hitter for the Privateers.
Pearson, Stanfield, and Brown in the outfield. Reeves, Milam, Dickinson, and Jones on the infield. Arambidi is catching, and Newt gets the first start. Here's Tristan Moore. He's on a hitting streak, 6 in a row. That's a mitt popper, but a little bit tight. Tristan Moore batting .286. He's homered 3 times. He's driven in 13. 5 of his hits have been doubles and 1 triple.
Yeah, Moore's also gotten off to a great start in conference play as well. One of the UNO Privateers batting .312 in their 9 Southland Conference games, and Moore's batting .368.
Well, half of his hits have been for extra bases. The Privateers have an RBI single from Loriga. He's at first base. Villescaz scored from second. Gonzalez is now at second base. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Newt comes back to level the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well placed fastball down in the zone. At the knees with some carry, that's for sure. Pulled the string. That was a changeup, 5 miles an hour slower, but watch the location. It's not just the change of speed, it's also where it's at. I mean, that is a perfectly executed location. Borderline ball strike. But the hitter's long made up his mind to swing before that ball gets close to the plate.
That was sinking and fading away from the hitter. And there's a big second out. Here is Rogers. Jelani, the left fielder, is hitting .244, a couple of homers, 10 driven in. Mostly a singles hitter. He's from the U.S. Virgin Islands, from St. Thomas. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs, 2 on, a run in for the Privateers. They've had 3 first inning base runners. Newt from the belt to the plate. Off speed again. Callaway on strike. This game, Jared Jones is at first base. Daniel Dickinson, Josh Pearson is the cleanup hitter in left field. Stephen Milam is batting in the 5th position. He's the shortstop. Right fielder Jake Brown is next, followed by Cade Arambidi. Hitting 8th is Tanner Reeves. He gets the start at 3rd base tonight. And Chris Stanfield, who's had a nice year at the bottom of the order, is the center fielder batting 9th. This LSU team leads the SEC in batting average, and they will take their cuts against Cannon Clayton, a big fellow, 6'5", 235-pound right-hander. And Ronnie, what do we know about Mr. Clayton?
Yeah, he's out of Jesuit High School, redshirt sophomore. Missed all of last season with a knee injury. Back healthy now. You see his numbers so far. Limited work, kind of working him back in there. 1-0. Hasn't given up an earned run yet in 4 innings. Has punched out 6 and walked 2. It's going to feature a fastball 90, 91 miles an hour. And a guy 2 years ago, before the knee injury, was a big part of this UNO pitching staff. And so they're excited to have him back. Going to work him back slowly, but they expect him second half of the year to play a major role in the Privateers' success.
The batting average against him in 4 innings is only 200. He's allowed 3 hits. This is his 2nd start, his 4th appearance. And here is one of the best leadoff hitters in America, Derek Curiel. He has been on base in every game. He is the #1 hitter right now in the SEC with a .451 average. He'll draw a lot of walks. He has been passed 23 times. 1 homer, 19 RBI. This one is up the elevator shaft on the left side. Shortstop gives way to the left fielder, who takes a step to his left and makes the play. That's Tristan Moore calling off the Ace Gas. Jay Johnson in his 4th season as head coach. A couple of seasons ago, national champions.
Now, Coach Jay Johnson probably used a little motivation for his team. You know, the D1 baseball poll came out, Lynn, where they are the second team in the country this year. They got leapfrogged by Tennessee. LSU was first the last couple of weeks. Tennessee second. Well, Tennessee, by virtue of taking care of Florida, and looked really good this weekend. The Volunteers against a much stiffer opponent than LSU did against Missouri. They were able to leapfrog the Tigers. It's the first time ever in the history of the D1 baseball poll that a #1 team goes undefeated in a week of games, 4-0, but yet drops.
Wow.
So that's been a little dangerous, fun banter online for the fans to talk about.
Tennessee is undefeated.
Wow.
Chị ơi, 2 sân vang.
Daniel Dickinson tries to bunt his way aboard. Well, I have finally gotten focused on these SEC standings, and Tennessee, 3-0 in conference, is 20-0 this year. LSU is 20-1. Alabama is 20-1. Texas is 17-1. Arkansas 18-2. Auburn 16-4. Georgia's 21-2. That ball that Jones hit may still be rolling.
Nice pitch that time by Clayton. Buzzed the outside corner, 92 miles an hour by the big fella.
That levels the count at 2-2. That's hit sharply, backhanded nicely by Loriga at third. That was not an easy play, but he made it look easy.
Yeah, that ball was sizzled down the left field line, but Brian Loriga, the senior out of Hialeah, Florida, made a nice backhanded pluck. Boy, that makes you feel good as a pitcher when your defense picks you up like that.
By the way, just to follow up the Tennessee note, the Volunteers are tied with East Tennessee State University. It's 4-4 in the 8th inning. Let's take a look at this Privateers team. There's in right. Saunier is the center fielder. Moore in left field. Loriga is at third base. Velasquez is the shortstop. Loop plays second base. Callaway at first. Evans is catching. And Clayton has the ball on the mound.
Now Josh Pearson being looked at over there at first, just taking some time to work off. That's the 8th.
LSU has been plunked 40 times this year. Milam is hitting .340. Colin Luke was in perfect position, and then the ball trickled out of his glove and rolled a little bit behind him.
Yeah, this ball's hit right at Loop. Loop's a guy who played a lot of baseball at UNO, former shortstop, also has played some shortstop, and that's a ball he's going to make 99 out of 100 times.
So the inning continues. 2 outs for Jake Brown.
That's Loop's second error of the year.
That ball gets by Evans. I'm assuming that's going to be a pass ball.
Well, you can never assume anything here at the box. That ball definitely was inside quite a bit. By the way, sometimes you play LSU, the big crowd, the big stadium. I mean, on the road you can get a little tight, especially early on in a game. I mean, UNO is fielding 985 as a team. That is outstanding.
It really is.
And they've already had a couple of bobbles here in the first inning.
The bases are loaded on a couple of hit batters and an error. And that's bruise number 41.
Look right here. Again, that's back-to-back hit batters, and it's been with breaking balls. We went Pearson, he hit, and then Milam hit the ground ball to second. Should have been out of the inning, and then he hits Brown. But both the lefties were hit with breaking balls by Clayton. And want to correct myself, the 985 fielding percentage by UNO is in Southland Conference games, the 9 Southland Conference games that they've played. They've been outstanding defensively. That's why they have a 5-4 record. And Dax Norris, the pitching coach, head coach, out to the mound to try to calm down his right-hander.
And you may be wondering, why is it that UNO has already played 9 Southland Conference games? That's 3 weekends worth. They actually have an elongated postseason tournament, if you will. They divide 8 teams into 2 4-team brackets and play it as a regional bracket, and then the 2 winners of those quote regionals within the Southland Conference will meet in a 2-out-of-3 series to determine the champion. So they have an extra week at the end of the year for their playoff scheme.
It's really a neat
I like it.
It's a neat format when you have the right number of teams in your league to be able to do it. It really kind of battle tests your team and gets them ready for a potential, whoever your representative is from your conference, to have success at the regional level.
Aaron Beatty takes a breaking pitch for a strike. He's got Pearson, Milam, and Brown aboard. Aaron Beatty is 0 for 1 officially with the bases loaded this year, but he does have a couple of RBI.
Now, Aaron Beatty getting a chance to start in place of Hernandez, who started all 3 games this past weekend for LSU, did Luis Hernandez. And oh, by the way, he got banged up a little bit. You know, not that he's hurt or anything, but we did the game on Sunday. He had a number of foul balls off of his forearm. And so you want to give Aaron Beatty an opportunity to get some ABs, get some experience, but at the same time also make sure Luis Hernandez doesn't.
3 for 20. He has played in 15 games now. He has started 8, batting and 5 driven in. So Aaron Beatty was challenged by the high fastball and couldn't find it. But let's go back and look at Jared back in 2017.
Now the UNO Privateers, of course, as we mentioned, every time LSU plays them, you know, went to the College World Series in 1984, and tonight at the ballpark, I can't remember to see him, but I know Ron Maestri is supposed to be here at the ballpark tonight, watching. Of course, the longtime head coach and athletic director, the head of the baseball NCAA selection committee for a number of years, and in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Ron Maestri, of course, who built the UNO program. And if you haven't been to Privateer Park right on the lakefront in New Orleans, they have one of the better playing surfaces in the state. A beautiful facility.
Bring a fishing pole and drop a line in Lake Pontchartrain as well.
Well, Jaden Newt has featured that, you know, split finger changeup a lot, you know, in this game today. I mean, it got him out of the first inning when he gave up a few hits and gotten a little jump out 5 miles an hour slower than his fastball. But when you see the bottom fall out of it, right, it doesn't have to always break a foot. It can just break a couple inches. The hitter just swings over the top of it or hits a ground ball.
That last one stayed up a little bit. It had some good sink, but it started higher than the other ones and stayed near the belt buckle.
The splitty is not a pitch that you see a lot. It had its heyday, I guess you would, in the 80s, maybe early 90s. You know, Bruce Sutter, the Hall of Fame reliever for the St. Louis Cardinals back in the 80s, he threw that thing exclusively.
You know where they still throw it? They use it in the Japanese leagues a lot. They still consider that a very effective pitch, and a lot of Japanese pitchers will throw that.
Are you up late at night watching Japanese baseball on your laptop?
No, I do a lot of reading, though.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know you were a big Japanese baseball league guy.
I wouldn't say I'm a follower. I like sushi.
A good throw that time by Aaron Beatty, and good tag nicely. No challenge by UNO, by the way. A little surprised by that because it was awfully. He got him up high in the chest, and yet his feet were down by the bag. I thought it might have been worth a look if you were the Privateers.
So give credit to Dickinson for making an acrobatic catch and applying the tag. And a 3-2 count on Evans. This one is fouled away.
Now you mentioned the Japanese League. The Major League Baseball started its season last night. The Dodgers beat the Cubs. Ohtani with a big home run. And right now, Tokyo is going crazy for Major League Baseball.
Oh, I bet.
They have Ohtani's face all over everything. TVs, billboards, buses, you name it. They're losing their mind having one of their biggest rock stars, you know, play a couple of games.
Well, and so many Japanese pitchers now are making their mark in the major leagues. Let's see if there's a play for Jones. He's under it, and he's got it. And there is the second out. By the way, that was the first time Aaron Beatty has caught a base stealer. He has thrown out 1 of 4. And here comes Loop at the bottom of the order. He's from Slidell, hitting .380 with a couple of homers and 13 driven in. There's a quick strike on the outside part of the plate.
Not a bad 9-hole hitter is Colin Loop, the redshirt junior from Jesuit High School, batting .380, as you mentioned, 15 starts, has played short and second. 467 on base percentage as well. Couple homers, couple triples, couple doubles.
This is hit sharply, but it's into the glove of Josh Pearson in left field. A base hit, but only 3 come to the plate. And we go to the bottom of the second inning with UNO 1, LSU 1.
And the hitting top to bottom. And here's a guy in Reeves that's getting a chance to start tonight. Tanner Reeves batting .333. He's played in 16 games, has had 8 starts. He did not have an at-bat or play over the weekend. He and Michael Braswell are sort of swapping off and battling over there at third base. And Braswell had a really good weekend, very productive weekend. But Reeves last Tuesday hits a grand slam and then doesn't even play on the weekend. Tells you the depth that LSU has, position player wise.
He's also had another home run and 3 doubles on the year. Hitting .333, 9 driven in. Stanfield will follow. That backs Reeves out of there, and Evans has trouble holding on. LSU got a 1-out home run from Jared Jones and left the bases loaded when Aaron Beatty struck out. There will be no PC ESPN network. We are delighted that you have chosen to spend some time with us. Thank you for doing it. Call a buddy or two and tell them the game is on. The line in left, a loud, long single.
He likes that fastball up. I mean, a slash bunt. You don't see that very often. That's hard to do. It is awfully tough to kind of square around the bunt, pull it back, and not have your head and eyes move and jumble too much. That's super impressive. But Stanfield's a good high ball hitter. He likes the pitch elevated.
So the Tigers immediately mount a threat here in the second with a walk and a base hit. And back to the top of the order we go for Curiel, who flied to left field last time. Jones is on deck.
When I mentioned the LSU with the 133 walks, 120 strikeouts, to put that in perspective, UNO in less games, 3 less games than the Tigers, have 78 walks compared to LSU's 133. And 150 strikeouts. So they're flipped the other way. They're almost 2-to-1 strikeouts to walk, which again, you're hoping to maybe be even. LSU's got more walks than strikeouts.
And to put that in perspective, when you look at those numbers, that averages to about 6 walks a game. So that's 6 base runners the Tigers are getting through patience and keen eyes at the plate.
And then, oh, by the way, they've been hit 40 times now, and you throw that in, you get a couple extra there. So that's 8 free bases a game the Tigers are getting. My point is, that's how it all adds up to over 10 runs a game. That's why LSU's scoring at such a high clip.
3-1 on Curiel. His first 21 games, without exception, have been magnificent for the Tigers. He smacks this one, and it is caught on the warning track. Jelani Rogers takes a base hit and then some away from Derek Curiel. Rogers, galloping, makes the full run catch on the warning track to steal at least a double and a run from Curiel and the Tigers.
Not a great job of base running by LSU. That ball is absolutely hammered, but Tanner Reeves does not advance to third base, and that ball is caught near the warning track, and that's where Reeves, has got to get back and tag. There wasn't a sense of urgency once he caught it, to get back quickly and tag up the third.
And a teaching point, because even if he had gone back to tag, Ronnie, he's going to score if that ball is not caught. He's going to score from second base or move up on the tag when it was caught. So you're right, definitely a blunder on the base paths.
You don't need to be far off the bag if you're Tanner Reeves in that spot, because you're going to, if the ball does get down, you score easily.
Certainly.
So just make sure, the tag in that situation.
And we're going to have an early pitching change here. Lucas Rodriguez, a freshman right-hander, will come out of the bullpen for the Privateers. We'll stop here. Rodriguez is a first-year Privateer from Miami. And he inherits base runners at second and first, as the starter Cannon Clayton is relieved after an inning and a third. 3 appearances to this point, no record, a 3.38 ERA, 5 1/3 innings of work, 5 strikeouts and a couple of walks. Here's Jared Jones. He literally homered out of sight in the first inning. And Ronnie, you don't measure that home run in feet. You measure it in furlongs.
That ball got out of this ballpark in the first inning in about, 1 second.
It might have been one of the quickest exits ever. Jones drives this one deep to right field. It's caught near the warning track by Rogers. Here's a throw, the relay. It sails over the head of everybody at third, and Stanfield is able to move up. So Jones hit it well to right. It was tracked down, but then Reeves tagged, and Stanfield was holding his ground until he saw the ball sail over everybody's head at third base.
Well, the UNO right fielder Rogers is getting a lot of experience on hard hit balls that tail back to him. That time Reeves was going to make sure he tagged up, even though not as important with 2 outs. But the overthrow allowed LSU now to have 2 ducks on the pond.
I'm assuming they have charged Luke on the relay with that overthrow, the second baseman. So now a base hit would likely score 2. And it's Daniel Dickinson at the plate. He grounded out to third last time. Reeves is 90 feet away. Stanfield is behind him at second base. 2 outs. The freshman Rodriguez misses. 2-0. Dickinson waits, and that fastball gets under his hands on the inside part of the plate. Daniel is from Richland, Washington. Rodriguez gets comfortable, rocks and fires, and Dickinson lets it pass for ball 3.
Rodriguez, true freshman out of Miami Christian High School.
Rodriguez is among 12 Floridians on this roster for UNO.
Well, former head coach, Blake Dean from the Panhandle of Florida, with a lot of connections. And the University of New Orleans has always recruited Florida well, going back to, many years ago. By the way, they went to go play for Ron Maestri. His dad, Demi Maneri, a Hall of Fame junior college coach, had a great relationship with the University of New Orleans, sent a number of players back in the 70s and 80s from the Miami area to go play in New Orleans.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Maneri start here and then go to UNO?
I'm sorry, that's correct. He went LSU for 1 year. Then he went to go play junior college at North Miami-Dade for his dad for his second year, and then he played his junior and senior year in the late 70s at UNO.
For the second time in as many innings, LSU has loaded the bases. Pearson takes ball one.
Watch Rodriguez's motion, Lynn, as he winds up. He's got a lot of energy, right? He's a very charismatic guy. Watch that foot on the rubber, the back foot. When he rocks back, he lifts it off the ground and then picks it up. In the old days, they'd have probably called that a balk, huh?
Well, his front foot is interesting, too, because he kind of starts to the left and then takes 3 pats. Watch the front foot here. See him inch back toward the middle? Well, Pearson has been hit by a pitch, and he draws a walk with the bases loaded. And the Tigers take a 2-1 lead with Stephen Milam approaching the plate. Milam has been remarkably consistent this year. Against right-handed pitching, he's batting .340. Against left-handers, as a switch hitter, he's hitting .455. 3 for 9 with the bases loaded and 7 driven in 2025. LSU will have the luxury of running recklessly with 2 outs. Milam smashes one on a line. It is hooking foul in the right field corner.
Now, Stephen Milam, through 21 games, has just really put together a nice season, a balanced season defensively, as we pointed out in the open. Just so stellar. Only the one
in right. Jelani Rogers handles all 3 outs. LSU does get a bases loaded walk from Pearson.